The Propcast on the Sports Game Podcast Network is brought to you by Arctic Fantasy. The company customers play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. We use promo code SGPN. And welcome everyone to the Propcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. Currently Monday morning, December 15th, around 10 a.m. Eastern, here for Week 15 Monday Night Football between the Dolphins and the Steelers. I'm Reichel, once again joined by Adam Rosenberg together. We're going to break down our favorite props for the Monday night game. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up?
It's going really well. That was a bop. The music that was
on. That was definitely
a good
one.
Bop. Yeah, you picked a real good one.
It's the same one every time.
No, it isn't that. It isn't. If it was the same one every time,
it's the same category.
Oh, same category.
The AI generation changes, but I just pick the button, and then the rest just works itself out. So yeah, there you go. That was still the chill category for AI generated music. So yeah, sounded pretty good today. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we crushed the last episode. We won basically everything.
Yeah.
I know we had a bomb as well. With Drake made 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, which we gave out on the baby's account on Saturday, and so that ended up getting there. That
got there early too.
That got there before the end of the first quarter. It was the first quarter cash.
Which was pretty crazy for 50-1. But I know I went 2 in one of my plays. I did lose the loop field goals, but I won the Lawrence no picks, and I also won the Brown receiving yards. I know you swept your 3 plays. We also hit the underdog entry. And
it was a juicy underdog one too. It was like a 6-pointer.
Yeah, so that was a nice underdog win. And on top of that, I believe we were 1 yard away from the complete ladder cash, but instead we ended up
half a yard, really. Yeah, because we had the So which they just stopped targeting him after that.
But once again, we were 1 yard away from the full
ladder. We hit all the other. We
hit everything else. Yeah. So we basically won everything on the show. So if you ended up tailing stuff, you made a lot of money, and hopefully the same thing happens here for Monday Night Football. I'll ask you though, just out of curiosity, if there's anything you want to talk about from Sunday's action.
How do you feel about a playoffs without the Chiefs?
How do I feel about it? I mean, look, I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to feel extremely odd because we're so accustomed to seeing one team in the postseason. I made the comp to the Astros like the entire season, where you just see a team that you're used to being in the playoffs all the time, but you can tell as you're watching the season unfold, this team stinks. And I feel like we both had that realization with the Astros this past baseball season, where you're used to them finding a way in a division they own to find a way to just get in. And this year it just seemed like they were going up a massive mountain and they just couldn't get out of their own way. And the Chiefs kept inventing ways to lose games. Every game felt the same. The offense shut down. The defense was not as good as normal. And eventually they ended up losing. And the Chiefs, in classic fashion this season, lost a game they probably should have won and got eliminated. Is that a fair statement? That was even before the Mahomes injuries. They were going to lose anyway. But Mahomes tearing his ACL, in addition to missing the postseason, is the cherry on top of their painful season. But that's how I would kind of sum up the Chiefs. The whole team was just not playing up to their usual standard. You could tell this was happening months ago, and it finally culminated in pain and misery.
Yeah, they look kind of checked out all season, you know?
So,
and having watched the Taylor Swift documentary, The End of the Eras, with my wife,
I'm assuming you chose that as the programming.
It's actually she's a boss because she's like organizing the whole playlist and like the set list and stuff. It's like really, really good. But there's a lot of parts where she's talking to Travis and he's like, you could tell that he's like in a completely different era of like what he wants to be doing with his life right now. Like he's just like, his priorities are very different than like anything. And it's just like, look, by the way,
well, of course, we both can relate because we're both podcasters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We know what that's like. But Mahomes and Brady both tore their ACL in year 9.
Yeah, they did. Of course, different time periods because Brady did it in week 1.
He did it in the first half of week 1. Shout out Matt Castle.
I feel bad for that team though. They won 11 games.
They won 11 games with Matt Castle. Well, Matt Castle got paid because
I know they missed the playoffs
ironically,
by winning 11
guess
games.
Who paid him?
The Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was trying to remember the order because I know he was with the Titans for a bit and
He
bounced
was in
around.
Seattle and he was at the Titans, but the Chiefs are the ones who paid him.
Yeah, but I feel like people always say, they missed the playoffs without Brady, and it's like they also won 11 games. Like people don't realize how good that New England team actually was that year. But either way, once again, Chiefs are eliminated. A lot of teams that were supposed to be really good have kind of underachieved this season, but we still have a pretty chaotic playoff projection. Not to mention the fact that Parsons probably tore his ACL too. That one, unlike Mahomes, is not confirmed yet, but it does seem, according to all reports, it will be announced later today. But I'll ask you, because we know the Chiefs' season is officially over. Parsons is out. We assume worst case scenario. Green Bay's dead, right?
Didn't change anything about Green Bay for me.
Well, that team doesn't have, in theory, the same ceiling without Parsons, of course. Correct?
Yeah. But it all, yeah, I mean, it impacts their defense. But it even with Parsons, I mean, they were one of those teams that I like the look of it. And as it got closer in the mirror, I was like, I don't think so.
I'm still not sure that Jordan Love's actually the quarterback of the potential Super Bowl team, but that's a bigger concern for them. But Parsons and that defense was going to be the only area that could make up the ground of having a quarterback that could argue isn't normal Super Bowl good. And now they can't get away with that. So that's
I mean, both teams didn't play well yesterday. I was a little annoyed because
the defenses weren't good. Bo Nix I thought was fantastic, but
they were both fine. I mean, they were fine. They took it. The reality is that a lot of what Denver did, it was after like Parsons went down. But they traded blows. It wasn't. I thought that both. I didn't change it. Didn't change my opinion about either one of those teams.
I actually don't know if it changed my opinion much on Denver because we've seen a couple of games where Nix has gone crazy, but I'm still a bit skeptical if Nix has the consistency and maybe this team has enough offensive firepower to actually make it through the AFC. But I'll put it this way. I'm not saying that his performance yesterday answered questions for me, but Nix played better than I thought he was going to. Against a pretty good defense.
They've been saying this for weeks. They've been playing a pace up offense, and they've been doing, and so that's why I liked his over passing attempts because they've been massively pace up. So we'll see. I like I gotta figure out if which side I'm gonna be on next weekend with the Jags. That's gonna be a real telling one. So, and again, I have tons of Denver futures. So I've tons of Jags futures. So I'm in good shape to roll over some stuff to baseball.
Yeah, once again, that's what I'll say, though, to wrap everything up for that game. Entertaining, a lot more high scoring than I thought it was going to be. Bo Nix played, in my opinion, very well, and I'm happy to see it. So we'll see what happens, but that's the question mark right now for Denver. It's the offense. So the offense got them to win yesterday. We'll see if they can do it moving forward. I see Bill's mentioning that no offense in the AFC can keep up with Josh Allen if he's on his game. He's the best quarterback in the league right now. The problem is the defense was awful and trailed 21-0 immediately. Nice job in the second half, but you're not going to be able to get away with that. Defense has to play better. But Josh Allen's Josh Allen, so he can definitely steal games.
Josh Allen's playing like an MVP.
Yeah. Because he's the best quarterback in the league.
I don't understand how he didn't get those 2 touchdowns, though. That was a perfect game script for him the entire time. For him to be like, I'm going to get these 2.
Yeah, it was. That was the one game they decided to actually give short yardage stuff for James
Unreal.
It's the only time they ever use him for short yardage. But either way, once again, AFC should be fun. NFC should be fun as well. So we have a pretty solid playoffs coming up. So we'll see what happens. But did it feel weird for you having a completely stress-free game? Based on the last couple of weeks?
I didn't watch it. I didn't.
Well, you shouldn't have because that involved watching Kenny Pickett. So
my day was over after the Drake May hit in the first quarter. I literally watched no football after that. I watched the game. I watched the recaps that night. I watched the advanced version, but after that, I was like, I watched the Denver game. Those games I cared about. I didn't care about the Eagles game.
I mean, you shouldn't have.
We won exactly what I wanted on the Eagles game. I had the alt under 31.5. I had Saquon under. I had
perfect game script. They went up early.
And I had Eagles first half team total. So it didn't matter to me.
Shout out to the Raiders though, who had 75 yards of total offense in the entire game.
Pretty bad.
So shout out to them. But yeah, once again, my Jets weren't much better. 6 touchdowns by, once again, Trevor Lawrence. So there you go. Anyway, before we get into any of our actual props for the Monday night game, which you could argue is important, but also not the most appealing, just based on the eye test.
Is Miami out of it after any results yesterday?
No, they're still technically in it because they're like around 500. But either way, point is, though, if you want access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient location, check out the SGPN app, free to download in the App Store. Type in SGPN, get access to once again of our free picks and podcasts in the SGPN app. So moving on to the actual props that we have for the Monday night game. Adam, I'll let you go first. What's going to be your first prop for the game?
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this, the ramifications of the Patriots losing, because now
the Bills are still, of course,
alive. The one seed's in play for them too.
Yes, the 1 seed and the division are still in play.
I think we want that.
That's fine
as a bet.
Sure, we can look at prices after the show.
Yeah. So anyway, to get to the first play that I have, let's see, what am I going to do? So I kind of made sure that I was going to do a different comp on this game than other things. I comped it to that Packers game last year. And let me just look. I had, so this is, I have a couple Tua plays, which, is always quite interesting with you're going to have multiple liability things on this guy. So, all right. I comped this to last year's game. I kind of looked at what Tua does later in the season when he's on the road, and later in the season on the road, he's actually been pretty good on the completion percentage. We're actually going to go with a Tua 20 completions. I got it at plus 113. It's out there at minus 110. Obviously I still like it. So the reason why I do like this overall is that Pittsburgh's secondary is actually really weak, and they tried
to convert Ramsey to safety.
Yeah, because he's terrible.
That's my point, is that the secondary was so bad they had to convert a corner to a safety just to hope things worked out.
Yeah, so look, he had like 48 throws when they were against the Packers last year. He had like 30 completions or something like that. This is really low for a game against a team that, as I was parsing through everything and looking, and I'll bring it up right meow, is that, yeah, Pittsburgh has, like, they give up the most passing attempts, which means that there's a volume is on your side here. And they're right there square in the middle. They've been probably bottom third in completion percentage over the last few weeks, which is something I care about. I don't know. Achan's banged up. I think that they're not going to run the ball. Right. I don't think they're going to run the ball the same way that they usually do. I know everyone's talking about Tua in a wetsuit. That's fine. Tua in a wetsuit still was like 35 for 47 or whatever against the Packers. So I just need him to get 20 completions, and I think he's going to be able to do that, leveraging his tight ends, doing a lot of yak stuff. You could absolutely beat this Steelers team with yak. So Tua over 19 and a half completions at I'm seeing plus 108 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you're looking at a defense that is definitely more of a pass funnel based on what we've seen this season. So I can get behind that. You also mentioned HM being banged up. They still can use him in the pass game. I mean, we know that he's a very good receiving back, so that's fine too. But yeah, I think that's definitely a reasonable number for Tua to get to against a really bad pass defense. So I can get behind that. For my first play, I'm going to go with a pretty juicy play, actually, but I still like it. I'm going to go with Freiermuth. I'm going to take his over 1.5 catches. It's minus 135. But I think it should be higher. I'll take it there. Freiermuth's had at least 2 catches in 6 of the last 8 games. Even if the yardage is not great, he does get some targets. Jonnu's kind of fallen off a cliff with this offense. They still have Washington, so they do rotate some tight ends, but Freiermuth does seem to be one of the main, I'd say, pass-catching tight end options on this team, since Jonnu is just not getting as big of a workload as he did earlier in the year. Dolphins, though, we mentioned this many times on the show, really bad against tight ends. They're allowing the 4th most receptions per game. 2 tight ends. We know Rodgers loves to check it down. Doesn't really chuck the ball downfield that much anymore. I think that helps out Freiermuth. 2 catches is nothing against a defense that's been really bad against tight ends. It's minus 135. I thought about the yards instead, but Freiermuth's really not had a lot of great yardage games lately. Just give me the targets. I think he'll end up with 3-4 targets, but 2 catches, minus 135. I like it. I'll go for that as my first play on the show.
Longest was close to.
I almost took that as well, but I ended up doing the receptions instead.
Sure. I see Joe saying, Tua's averaged 14 completions last 4 weeks. Absolutely. This is I don't base a lot of my stuff off of the trend things.
It's a matchup thing. The
Steelers, it's a matchup thing to me. If the Steelers are going to allow the most attempts, that's a volume thing. And I don't expect this to be a slog rock fight type game. Especially these quarterbacks just don't want to do that. The completions is definitely in there for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
By the way, I see a comment saying that they see your prop at plus 115 on Fanatics.
Excellent. Well, that's fine. I see it at plus 120 on Hard Rock. I see plus 110 at the Score. I did it at plus 113 on Novig. So yeah, kick it.
There you go.
Sure. Let's do that. I mean, if you really want, you can do the minus 118 on MGM. You and I are not allowed to bet on MGM anymore. So that's for those who are just joining us. That's a story for another day.
I placed a paper ticket on an MGM book during the NBA offseason, which I'm gonna have to rip up, which is unfortunate.
Oh, did you do that in AC?
Yeah, I have a Conquest 6 Man of the Year, but I'm gonna have to rip it up because Porzingis is now out indefinitely again. So he's not gonna come. He's not gonna come off the bench for enough games. I've been have to rip up the ticket, which is
Noops and I have MIP.
No, I know. I went.
Is that possible?
It's possible. I went for 6th man because he was coming off the bench initially, but Porzingis, of course, is Porzingis. So now my ticket's dead. So it is what it is. But
well, it's fine. He's probably going
to. It was 4-1.
If it makes you feel better, he's sick and he's probably going to die. So that being said, let's move on to another player. Or is it your? No, it's my turn.
I already did. I did my Freiermuth play.
Okay, so look, I know that the mothership had this too, and I gave this out. Kramer likes it too. He steals all my plays, gives his stuff out.
Nice day for comeback player yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good day for his comeback player of the year award. So I'm going to take, though, I like Kenny Gainwell, 25 receiving yards, plus 106. Again, this is a cold game. He's kind of really their de facto slot in there. I really like this a lot. So give me Kenny Gainwell, 25 receiving yards. He's also just been used extensively over the last few weeks. I believe he's hit this, four straight games.
Well, we saw Rivers yesterday, who's like 44. Rodgers basically with the same type of game plan every week. Let's just chuck the ball 3 yards and see what happens. That's kind of how it goes.
Which I think it's a good call out. So and also Miami is 24th in the league in receiving yards to running backs. So Kenny Gainwell, 81, 30, 25, 27 over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, we take him every week because they just throw him the ball.
We're going to take him until
throw the ball 8 times. Yeah, it's fine.
Let's do it.
So there you go. Before we get into the other props that we have for the show, a reminder they're brought to you by our sponsor, Kalshi. So if you want to check out prediction markets with real money, legal in every single state, check out Kalshi. Trade markets in a bunch of sports, including the NFL, college football, college basketball, the NBA, NHL, and more. They also have props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, you can also check out the betting options for politics, for entertainment, and for weather. And a reminder, if you sign up for a new account at Kalshi, get a free $20 if you use the code SGPN at sign up. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN for a free $20 at sign up. We're also brought to you by Nordic Fantasy. So check out our pick'em entries. Chance to win 5,000 times your entry. We hit our entry in the last episode for around 6x. A reminder, though, that they have a new offer to customers. Play just $5. Got $100 bonus funds. We use promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finished going through our first call props for the show. Time on into my second prop for the Monday night game. I'm going to go with Adam Thielen. I see a comment asking about Thielen 2+ catches. I'm not taking that. Instead, I'm going to go with Thielen longest catch under 10.5 yards at minus 110. Now, Thielen, we know, was a last-second signing for Pittsburgh. This offense isn't very good. Thielen's washed already, but Pittsburgh, in classic fashion, went dumpster diving, trying to get another depth receiver. Point is, though, he has not had an 11+ yard catch in 10 straight games. He played 48% of the snaps in his first game with the Steelers, and he did nothing. He had 1 catch for 4 yards. We said before that Rodgers does not really throw the ball downfield that much anyway. Thielen's more of a I'd say a check down option at this point. But the point is, I don't see Thielen getting many targets anyway. I don't think he's that good at this point in his career. But 10.5 yards is a lot of yards for one catch for a guy that has not done it in 10 straight games, and for a guy in an offense that is not going to push the ball down the field. I could see some checkdowns. Maybe that's how he gets there. But 11 yards on one catch for a guy well past his prime on an offense that's basically full of checkdowns, I think is a very large number. Give me Thielen longest catch under 10.5 yards at -110. Thoughts?
I like it. Yep. Nope. I think it's great.
Cool. You want to move on to your other prop?
Yeah. Sorry, I just got a meeting added in my two meetings added in my calendar that are at the same time. All right. Let's see. My third prop is going to be. So I have a couple props I'm gonna give. So Tua INT kind of goes with all these other things that we're talking about. Volume equals opportunity. Opportunity. He's the fourth most turnover-worthy plays in the league, and Pittsburgh has the second most causing of turnover-worthy plays over the last 6 weeks. So Tua interception -102. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this actually right away into another one of the props that I did like as well, which is going to be what is it? Let me pull this up. Sorry, my notes are all over the place. Jalen Warren under 12.5 longest rush, -103. So that to me, he's only gone over this four times this year. It was all right in the middle of the season. He has not been good in yards after contact. Miami's been really good about that. They've actually been really good about limiting explosive runs. So give me Jalen Warren under longest 12.5 yards.
Yeah, and for my last play, I'm going to go back to a guy that I gave out last week, a kicker. You know, I got to give out some kicking props. I am going to go with Riley Patterson, my boy, over 1.5 field goals at -129. Patterson has made at least 2 field goals in 7 of his last 8 games. Steelers also have been a good bend but don't break defense. They're allowing 2.4 attempts per game, which is the 5th most in the league. Patterson has been a wagon when it comes to field goals, and we've seen the Dolphins coaching staff settle for more field goals than you might think because the red zone offense has not been as good as expected. So a couple ways to get there. Patterson, though, can hit from distance. He can hit a couple of chip shots. But either way, the Steelers allow a bunch of field goals, and Patterson has been a solid Fairbairn light over the last month or so. So give me Patterson over 1.5 field goals, -129. There you go. I see Adrian, by the way, in the comment section mentioning the combined punts at 7.5. Thoughts on that? I know that you've experimented with punts before.
A little bit, but I don't know. This isn't the one for me. Not with 2 teams that are probably going to go for it. I think they may go for it a little bit. I like it generally, but I don't think this is I think this game's going to have a little more offense than everybody thinks it does, just simply because it's cold.
Could be. I think this game might be a little bit ugly, but that's because I'm skeptical of both offenses in general. But we mentioned the secondary.
I'm a little more skeptical of both defenses in general.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine too. Point is that we mentioned Pittsburgh secondary stinks, so I can see Miami moving the ball in this game. I just hope they have a couple 4th downs. But I think 129 is a good price. So there you go. Anyway, miscellaneous time. Any other props you want to mention in the bonus section?
So I'm also on. So I mentioned to everybody the INT. I'm on also Patrick Queen under tackles and assists 7.5. I just think they're going to pass a little bit more. I don't think they're going to run as much as everybody thinks they are. So I don't think it's going to be really that useful. He also has kind of dropped off going over to he's not a really good tackler. So those are 2 that I like.
Yeah, I see people asking about parlaying both kickers. The Boswell price was expensive. Of course, I obviously looked into it because Boswell's a machine. I don't mind that potentially if you are picking a game that might be on the lower scoring side. I know Adam disagrees with that, but if you do think the game's going to be a bit low scoring, you are picking field goals. So if you want to go for that, you can. I don't typically parlay the field goals from both kickers in the same game because if one guy misses one, you're kind of screwed. So I don't really like to gamble that much, but I do think it makes sense if you are picking a game script that would promote field goal attempts. If you're picking, for example, a 23-20 final, or if you're picking even a more low score than that, like 16-13, there are some scripts there. I'm not going to parlay that, but if you want to go for it, I'm not going to stop you. It's kind of how it goes. But any other things you want to mention? Do we want to bother with a ladder for this?
I don't think so. Not for this game. I don't really have anything that I love. I mean, look, I get it, everybody. I think for me, it's about third down conversion. Like, I don't want to do punts if I'm also going to do field goals and things like that. I also think that McDaniel's probably going to go for it a little bit more than Tomlin will. I mean, look, Boswell, I'd ladder his field goals. You always can. He's one of the best ones in the league. But yeah, I also agree with you. I don't really think it's really necessary to parlay field goals.
Well, I do want to ask you, though, since we are talking about ladders, we're not really sure if we're pulling the trigger on anything. I know that HN technically is full systems go. If we think they limit the workload a bit, I'm assuming the ladder would be right stuff, right?
No, because I'm just I don't necessarily think they're going for. First of all, it might be Ollie Gordon. Like I don't necessarily think that it's like plug and play. Like it's not. This isn't Madden. Yeah. But I just think that they're going to throw the ball a lot more than everybody thinks that they are. I don't necessarily just buy that this is like people are treating this like it's the Browns this isn't an AFC North game, where it's 13 degrees in Cleveland and everyone just runs the ball and it's a 13-9 game. Like is it a warm weather team going up north? Sure. But the other thing is that just a lot of the stuff that we've seen is just that the way that they open up games, like these are not great defenses. These are not great tackling defenses. And I probably think there might be a little bit more passing than there is. What's the total?
Let me just quickly confirm.
I'm assuming it's like 42.
I want to say it sounds about right, but let me just quickly see what the updated total is. The updated total in this game is 42.5.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's
right on the dot.
So they don't know. So they have no idea. Either.
They have no clue.
Yeah.
But there you go. All right. Anyway, sorry that there was no ladder, but the matchup, we just didn't find that interesting. I thought maybe you might consider laddering like a Tua completions thing, but it might just not be worth it. So there you go. Anyway, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Cool. So before we get into the final couple of sections for the show, a reminder that we are brought to you by our other sponsor, Novig. So if you want to check out prediction markets, check out Novig, number one prediction market for sports in America. Get some great prices, reduced juice on a bunch of different markets. Download the app when you do so. Get a nice deal with us. $50 when you spend just $5 if you use our code SGPN. And the extra Novig promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. So they've been crushing it this NFL season, especially on props. They've been good in college basketball as well. Check out the models that you can build yourself, the models that they already have with the house model, or just copy them from the leaderboard. But a reminder, it's very easy to check out the models if you want to get into that type of sports betting. And a reminder, they also have a bunch of props in different sports. Adam, I'm going to ask you, do they have any props for Monday night that interest you?
Let me see.
They like Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 rush attempts.
You would get them on kneel downs.
We do.
I mean, they really. I mean, I know you're not a fan of his yardage, but they really like this Thielen.
I'm fine with 1.5 receptions. I just don't think he's going to have one big play. He can catch some checkdowns.
Yeah, I don't think that's not what he does. That's not at all what he does. I do actually really like the Calvin Austin 1.5 receptions. Like I think that.
Okay, you want
Aaron Rodgers. What's that?
Is that one?
I'm not gonna. Yeah, let's add that to.
Yeah, let's do it. That's fine. And that's a rhythm play, correct?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it within. We can do it on our
underdog. That's fine. So once again, the rhythm play for Monday night is going to be on Calvin Austin over. You said 1.5 receptions.
Yeah.
Cool. Like there we go. Anyway, a reminder though, if you want to check out rhythm for yourself, you use our discount code promo code SGPN25. We download the app to get a nice quarter off your first month. That's rhythm. Once again, promo code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finish going through our props for Monday night. Time to move on into the best bets. Adam, what is your favorite play on the show?
Probably gonna go with the Gainwell 25 receiving yards. He's just such a key part of that movement at all.
That's been such a system play for us on the show.
Yeah, it's been really good to us, so I'm gonna keep going with it.
Yeah, my best play is going to be Thielen longest catch under 10.5. It's not what he does. He had one catch last game for 4 yards. He might go over the receptions, but it's pure check down territory. He's not the type of guy, especially at this point in his career, that's going to stretch a defense out. I see a couple of checkdowns, classic Steelers offense, 5-yard catch here, 5-yard catch here. Good enough for me. I don't see him catching an 11-yard pass in this game. So give me the under Thielen longest catch at 10.5 at -110. Anyway, moving on to underdog. Adam, what do you want to use? We can recycle the Austin play. So that's
let's recycle that Austin play. Let's also do, you and I both like Freiermuth longest.
Yeah, we could either do that or the receptions. Your call.
I like the longest.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, let's do the longest. And then you want to throw a TD in there?
We can if you have a strong feeling about a player.
We need somebody on the other side now.
Well, I was gonna say, do you like?
We need a Miami guy.
Do you like Waddle? Do you?
You know who else? I liked Waddle. I'd like Waddle longest.
That's fine. We can take that.
You want to? Let's do that.
Sure. Let's do it.
Or actually.
I mean, if we're gonna roast the secondary, Waddle does make a lot of sense to go over as longest. So
let's do that. Okay, cool. So here's what we have. Calvin Austin, higher 1.5 receptions. Jalen Waddle, higher 23.5 longest reception. Pat Freiermuth, higher 10.5 longest reception. Payout is with 6.6, and with our boost, it's 7.44.
There we go. All right, cool. That's going to wrap it up for the show. We'll be back once again later on in the week. We'll get into the NBA and NHL cards on Thursday. A reminder, though, last week we did a Thursday night episode, or I should say an episode for Thursday Night Football. We will not be doing that this upcoming week. That was a one-off, so just something to keep in mind. We're back once again, though, of course, for Week 16 and for Monday night, for Week 16 next Monday. We'll be off for a couple days. We'll be back once again for the NBA and NHL cards for Thursday. Adam, anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're good.
Cool. There we go. Till next time, you can find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at Hey Rosenberg, and check out the Propcast on YouTube. Check it out on Spotify or Apple. Also, check it out on Twitter at the Propcast SGPN. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.